And welcome to Inside the Huddle live from downtown Iowa City. It is the Inside the Huddle show. Or Inside the Paint. That's not going to be called, but it is a big day for Iowa football on Saturday. Trying to keep their Big Ten championship games hopes alive. And the big game last night between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Evansville Purple Aces. And then basketball is back in full swing for boys as they take on North Carolina A&T tonight, where I will be live from Culver Hawkeye Arena with Michael Merrick tonight from KRUI Sports 89.7 FM and KRUI.com. It is a big one tonight between your Iowa Hawkeyes and head coach Fran McCaffrey, assistant coaches Sherman Dillard, Courtney Aldridge, Matt Gadens, Chief of Staff Al Sabert, Director of Operations Kyle Denning, Director of Player Development Tristan Sporlock, Vehicle Coordinator Lucas Pauly. And the North Carolina A&T Aggies and assistant coaches Sam Hunt, Bruce Martin, Assistant Athletic Trainer Tristan Leonard, Director of Player Development Andrew Heisenreiter, Graduate Assistant Video Coordinator Michael Armstrong, Graduate Assistant and Assistant Director of Basketball Operations Jay Finch, and Interim Head Coach Philip Schumert, and the North Carolina A&T Aggies, as this team is going to be a sleeper team tonight because you have Tyrese Elliott, the 6'2 freshman from Grayson, Georgia. He's going to play a little bit tonight for the Aggies, as well as Chase McDuffie. Chase McDuffie, he's going to be a stud for the Aggies. The 6'5", 210-pound guard from Columbia, South Carolina, Gray Collegiate Academy. And he can shoot it. This Iowa team, they better start quick, because this Aggie team has made the tournament 4 out of the last 8 years in the program. I know they play in a national conference and all that, but against a tournament-style team, you got to start out fast. I don't care if they're number 1 seed or a 16 seed. If they made the tournament, they were a good team, in my opinion. Some are better than ours. But also, a guy you watch tonight, if you go into the game, is Kyle Duke, the 6'4", 180-pound sophomore from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And he can shoot. He can shoot with the best of them in their conference. And he's the first team all-SWAC conference pick this year for the Aggies of North Carolina and team head coach Philip Schumert. It's going to be very interesting to see how Iowa will start out in this game for head coach Fran McCaffrey, because I really think here in this game, Iowa needs to start out fast. In all games, you've got to start off fast, really. But in my opinion, against a team like this, it's going to be very, very good. It's going to be very good for Iowa there. But it's going to be a thing where can Iowa shoot the ball? Because Iowa, when they're on fire, like Caitlin Clark last night. Caitlin Clark last night had an amazing game last night, as we will break down the women's game last night in full coming up on the show for head coach Lisa Bluter. And her next game is against the Drake Bulldogs in the Knapp Center in Des Moines. And that one is not going to be a walk in the park for Iowa. I'm not going to say that it could be a walk in the park, but Drake is projected, in my opinion, to win the Missouri Valley Conference in women's basketball, in my opinion. They can win both men's and boys for women's basketball for the Drake Bulldogs. It's going to be very key for them to get going offensively tonight. And I'm going to look at a bunch of people that's going to have big games tonight for Iowa. Off of the bench, Aaron Nimmers, the 6'2", 173-pound freshman from Rock Island, Illinois, Rock Island High School. And he's going to be a big factor in this game for the Hawkeyes. And it's going to be a big factor there. We will take calls at 319-327-3753, 319-327-3753 if you want to call into the show. Again, 319-327-3753 is the text number. And tonight, again, me and Michael Merrick will be live from Carver Hawkeye Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes. 6:50 pregame, 7 o'clock. First tip, Iowa taking on North Carolina A&T. And Iowa tonight also has to have a big game from Josh Agunale, the 6'10", 275-pound junior from London, England, Worcester Academy. And it's going to be a big thing. But the guy that I'm going to look at, even next year, Bryce Sanford. Bryce Sanford's going to be a stud for this Hawkeye team. And also, Peyton Sanford, the 6'7", 250-pound sophomore from Waukee, Iowa. And then it's going to be a big factor there. Also, Aaron Eulis, the 6'3", 190-pound junior from Chicago, Illinois, Marian Catholic High School. Also, Philip Abracha, the 6'9", 230-pound graduate senior from Sombor, Serbia, Woolston, Northampton, and North Dakota. He played good at North Dakota, did Philip Abracha did. First team All-Summit League in his 30 years there. And he played with Nate Shockey, and that is going to be a big factor there for Iowa here. Can they get more out of their starters and bench? And Iowa women's last night, amazing, absolutely amazing on the boards last night. As we look at the stats that I did last night live from Carver on KUI, and Iowa's 115-68 victory over the Purple Aces of Evansville. It was a big game for Iowa by Caitlin Clark and Monica Sanano, as they were both the key players coming into the game. They were the key players on the game, because it's this team, if they can get bench production like they did last night, this team is a championship contender. I'm not saying that as an Iowa fan. I'm not saying that as a biased Iowa fan. I'm saying that truthfully. When you get Caitlin Clark, 26, 28, 29 a night, Sanano with 20, 22, 24, then you get four girls offensively. It was a fun night last night. And look at this. You have Caitlin Clark with 26. Monica Sanano had 25. Hannah Stolke, off of the bench, had 14 points. You don't see that very many times. A person off of the bench has 14 points. And Caitlin Clark said it in her interview after the game. This girl could be special. And I believe she could play the 4. I believe at some point this season, the starting 5 is going to be Clark, Warnock, Stolke, Sanano, Molly Davis. Molly Davis, she only scored 5 points last night, but man, the reason why I would put Molly Davis in there, the transfer from Central Michigan, is this. She was flying around, being a menace on defense. She's 5'7", and she blocked a girl that was 6'3". She blocked a girl that was almost half of her height. I was on the broadcast with Maximilian von Grease last night, and me and him just went awe about what we were seeing from the Hawkeye women and head coach Lisa Bluter. And if you can get, here was the stats from last night when over Evansville, 26 for Caitlin Clark, 25 for Monica Sanano, 14 for Hannah Stolke off of the bench. And I'm just saying right now, if you can get this type of bench production from your team consistently, this team's dangerous. This team can win a championship. And I'm not just talking about Big Ten championship. I'm talking about a national championship as well. 13 for McKenna Warnock, 7 for Kate Martin, 6 for Cynia Falter, 6 for Taylor McCabe, 5 for Maury Davis, 5 for Addison O'Grady, 4 for A.J. Edgar, 2 for Saring Goodman, and 1 for Shatea Wettering. All but 2 players scored. Only 1 player did not score because Kylie Fierbach is ineligible because of injury. So only 1 Hawkeye was eligible to play that did not score. And she did not play, and that's Jada Gimphy, number 23. But, and look at this. The team was shooting 74% from the floor. 74%. If you can shoot 74% from the floor, I don't care who you're facing. You can win a lot of games. But I'm not expecting them to score 110 against a high caliber opponent. But Iowa needed that for women's. After the game, the first quarter against Southern, they responded very well. But they needed this game. That's why we will come back with more breakdown coverage of the Iowa's 115-62 win over Evansville and a preview tonight of the game between Iowa and North Carolina A&T. And the preview of the Iowa Hawkeye football game this Saturday against the Wisconsin Bucky Badger. You're listening to Inside the Huddle on the JT Sports Network. Inside the Huddle on the JT Sports Network is presented by Coolest It Just Sauce at 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. They've been serving award-winning barbecue since 2018. You can get a hold of them at 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. You can get a hold of them at 319-448-4888. 319-448-4888. And Interstate Swine, helping to raise fresh and safe pork from your family and your community in Eastern Iowa since 1998. With the entire Interstate Swine team, Ben Seiler, Cliff McKinley, Dave Karkash, Rob Turner, and Todd Wiley. We welcome you back here to Inside the Huddle on the JT Sports Network. As tonight, me and Mike Merrick will be live from Carver Hawkeye Arena, home of the Iowa Hawkeyes, as tonight Iowa will take on North Carolina A&T and head coach Philip Schubert. And it's going to be a big factor here for Iowa. Can they get started quickly against this team? And it's going to be a very good factor here. Can they be very good with the ball? Can they be outside, inside, out? And can they play with authority on the backboard? It's going to be a factor where can they go up and down and go at it there. But the Iowa Hawkeyes are very good at going at it, being scrappy, and doing that. North Carolina A&T 1-0 on the year from the Colonial Athletic Conference. I'm sorry about that. They are 1-0 on the season. They beat Edward Waters 100-61. And then they play at Iowa State. So they play at Iowa and then at Iowa State. How that's for ironic scheduling for head coach Philip Schubert. They go into Iowa City, then they go into Ames. That's a bit ironic there. But we go back to the game last night. Iowa and Evansville for head coach Lisa Bluter. And you got a big star from Molly Davis, a transfer from Chester, Michigan. And last year, she was second team All-MAC honors, led the team in 18.6 points per game. And then look at this. She ranks first in Central Michigan history with point per game average of 17.7, 11th in points, 7th in assists, 6th in free throw percentage, 8th in career three-pointers, and scored double figures in 20 games for the Chippewas of Central Michigan. But also last night, you had big games last night. 72% from the 3-4 line for the Hawkeyes, 73% for the Purple Aces. 36 rebounds for the Hawkeyes to just 10 for the Purple Aces. And there's been 8 turnovers for Iowa and 17 for the Purple Aces. And the Purple Aces were led in scoring by Maya Clark. Also, number 12, Severson, by Barbara Tamakova. Abby Fight had 8. Selena DuPont had 6. Nia Griffiths had 5. Lexi Sinclair had 2. Josie Hudson had 2. And Hannah Newman had 1 point from the charity stripe. But the big key was turnovers. Turnovers were key, and Iowa had scored 20 points off of Evansville turnovers, and that was the game plan coming in. Protecting the ball and forcing turnovers. And they did that. Taylor McCabe, she played the 2022 Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year and the Nebraska Coaches Association Player of the Year. She is the 88th ranked recruit nationally by ESPN in 2022, the only ranked Nebraska player from this year. That's pretty impressive for the Hawkeyes. They did it. Accumulated 2,000 career points in her career, the first Nebraska Class A guard to achieve that feat. That is pretty good for the Iowa Hawkeyes, getting her on the team. I think she's going to be good too. But the girl that you need to watch is Molly Davis and Hannah Stuelke. Outside of the usual suspects, Clark, Sonano, Warnock, Martin. Outside the usual suspect, watch for Davis, McCabe, and Stuelke. I think the starting 5 could reasonably evolve to Caitlin Clark at the 1, Molly Davis at the 2, Warnock at the 3, Stuelke at the 4, and Sonano at the 5. I really think that could be your starting lineup going forward. I don't think you rush Stuelke or Davis in the starts right now. But if they play on the track that they are right now, they are on track to do so. Molly Davis is a 5th-year senior. We got her from Central Michigan. But Hannah Stuelke, she impressed me last night. 14 points off of the bench. She went 6 for 6, 100% from the field. And look at this. Cynthia Fulton went 3 for 3. Edgar went 1 for 1. Hannah Stuelke went 6 for 6. And also, McKenna Warnock went 5 for 5, too, and 3 for 3 from 3. Monica Sonano went 85%. Look at this. 74% from the field were the Hawkeyes last night. 43 out of 58. And the Aces were last night 15 and there. But their next game is against the Drake Bulldogs, and that game is not going to be an easy one for the Lady Hawks, as I think that game is going to be a test for Iowa. Here's why. Drake in the Missouri Valley Conference, even though Evansville was not as good, Drake is good. Drake is sneaky good. So you gotta be ready to play the Bulldogs, the Lady Bulldogs, in the Knapp Center, in Des Moines, in a hostile environment. Because Drake will come ready to play. They will punch you in the mouth, not literally, but they will take the moment if you're not. It's going to be a test where if Iowa gets hit early in the game and gets down by 5 or 6 points, will they be able to respond? Iowa has the offense where they can come back quickly. But you got to get going start. Because Iowa had no confidence in the first quarter against Southern. And once they got confidence, they ran away with the game. The key for Iowa is getting confidence. Also, you have Caitlin Clark, a big play there, but Monica Sonano. Monica Sonano was amazing last night. 25 points last night from Monica Sonano. She was 11 of 13 from the field for 85%. 3 for 4 from the charity stripe for 75%. a plus minus, a plus 27. Look at this. Caitlin Clark. Look at this. Look at the plus minus leaders. Look at the plus minus leaders. I will lead them out to you right now. Gabby Marshall plus 39. Kate Martin plus 34. McKenna Warnock plus 34. Molly Davis plus 32. Off of the bench. Plus 32 off of the bench for Molly Davis. I'm like, I was up in the broadcast booth, and I was watching Stolke and Davis play last night off of the bench. If you get that type of bench production consistently against Ohio State, NC State, Tennessee's, South Carolina, Stanford, Baylor, UConn, the top dogs in women's basketball, you can compete against them and win. Because the thing last year against Baylor, you had a good game from Clark, but nobody else stepped up. Against good teams, you got to get the things like last night, 26 or 30 from Clark, 20 from Sonano. That's 40 points right there. 40 to 45 points right there. If you get like last night, when you get 14 off of the bench, look at the bench points. Here are the players that off of the bench last night. Hannah Stolke had 14. Kate Martin had 7. That is 21 points right there off of the bench. Taylor McCabe had 6 off of the bench. That's 28. Taylor McCabe also had 6, so that's 34. Molly Davis had 5 points off of the bench, so that's 37. Addison O'Grady also had 5 points, so that is 42. AJ Ediger had 4, so that's 44. Goodman had 46, 47, 48. 48 points out of the 115 points were off of the bench. If you get 48 points off of your bench consistently every game, you're a national title contender. 48 points off of the bench is absolutely phenomenal. That's why I gave the bench an A++ last night. The bench, Hannah Stolke took the opportunity and ran with it last night. And I got to give credit where credit is due. I didn't know who Hannah Stolke was coming in, but I left and I remembered her name. I remember Molly Davis's name and Hannah Stolke's name from last night's game against Evansville. That was absolutely amazing. But also, plus minus. Back to plus minus. We have Caitlin Clark plus 32. Sonano plus 27. O'Grady plus 25. Stolke plus 17. Afalta plus 10. Taylor McCabe plus 8. Wettering plus 5. Goodman plus 4. Edgar plus 1. Everyone had a plus next to their name last night. And plus minus is basically turnovers, field goals, and points. All combined and divided by 2. If it's negative, it's bad. If it's positive, it's good. But you have a plus 32 off of the bench. Look at this. Look at the bench last night. You have plus 32, plus 25, plus 17, plus 10, plus 8, plus 4, plus 1. That is absolutely, I can't even put into words what that means. This team, I'm telling you right now, you can put me on the record saying this. If Iowa gets this type of bench production, they will make the Final Four. They will make the Final Four if they get this type of bench production. Every game. 48 points off of the bench. That is absolutely unfathomable. That's half of their points off of the bench. Let's do this math right now. Half of the points off of the bench. That is 2.39. So yeah, every 2 buckets was scored were off of the bench. That I'm just lost for words of what Iowa did last night. But let's go back to Iowa men's now, as Iowa men's have a big game tonight against North Carolina A&T. They take on a big opponent in the Aggies and head coach Philip Simmert. And the big players tonight, I think, for the Hawkeyes is going to be the big guy in the middle, Josh Ogundaway. And he's going to be good there in the middle for Iowa. And then also Connor McCaffrey. Connor McCaffrey, the coach's son, also with Patrick McCaffrey. If you haven't heard about the story about Patrick McCaffrey and what he has had done to get to this moment, I recommend you look it up. Because what Patrick McCaffrey has done just to be able to play basketball again, it's pretty amazing and pretty inspiring. So look it up if you're interested about Patrick McCaffrey, the 6'9", 210 junior from Iowa City West High School. But his brother Connor has a career assist-to-turnover ratio of 3.5, turnover ratio, one of the 10 representatives from the University of Iowa on the Big Ten thing, 4-time academic All-Big Ten, 3-time NABC honors, 2-time academic first team, 2-time Big Ten distinguished scholar, and an NABC honors court honoree. And he's been the Academic Excellence Award for the past 5 seasons. And the big thing for Iowa tonight is getting a big game out of this guy, Aaron Eulis. Aaron Eulis, his brother, Tyler Eulis, he plays F the Phoenix Suns. And we got him off of a big thing there. But Aaron Eulis is the brother of Tyler Eulis, who went to Kentucky, and he's now playing for the Phoenix Suns. That is a big thing. But he has scored 24 contacts, reaching double figures twice. Dished out 3+ assists in 10 games. Last year, season best in points, steals, assists, rebounds, field goals made, free throws made, 3 points made. An all-around fantastic season last year for the 6'3", 190-pound junior from Chicago, Illinois, Millian Catholic High School. And Payton Sandford, I said to everyone last year, Payton Sandford is going to be a star. And this year, he's going to be more of a star. Put me on the record saying this. Payton Sandford has 34 3-pointers. We're 4th most on the team. And we're 8th most ever by a Hawkeye freshman last year. 8th most by a Hawkeye freshman. And that's only his freshman year. Payton Sandford's going to be an absolute stud for Iowa and head coach Fred McCaffrey, assistant coach Sherman Dillon, Coney Aldridge, and Matt Gadens. And it's going to be a big thing. But Deshaunte Bowen, he is a new kid on the block, but he is not a new kid that big moments. Because he was first team NEPCAC, first team honoree, senior and sophomore season. Helped lead Blue Star Academy to the NEPAC AAA championship his senior season. Averaged 15 points a game, 30 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.5 steals, while shooting 52% from the field, 47% from 3. Now, let's put this into perspective. He was shooting 52% from the field, 47% from 3. That is absolutely absurd, even for high school. When you're that hot, that's going to be good. And then Dante Aldridge, the 5'9", 170-pound junior from North Liberty, Iowa, Iowa City West High School, and Kirkwood Community College. And he started 30 out of 31 games as a sophomore at Kirkwood, averaging 9 points, 4 assists, 2.5 rebounds, earning second team all-conference recognition, and Albert Kirkwood winning 23 games and captures the regular season conference championship. Saw action in 20 games, including 18 games as a freshman. The big key for Iowa tonight, in my opinion, is this. Can Iowa start off fast and not let North Carolina T hang around? That's going to be the key for Iowa. Can they hang around or not? For the Aggies, just hang around. Just keep it within 10 points. You can seal at the end. For Iowa, you want to bury them as soon as possible. Because for Iowa, You don't know what's going to happen at a given time. It's going to be a big factor where can you go out and play your game and play it to your best of your ability. But that is going to be the stat there. That's going to be a big thing. We would take a short time out. You're seeing the Inside Huddle on the JT Sports Network. Inside the Huddle on the JT Sports Network is presented by Cohen's It's Just Sauce at 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. Some of the best barbecue you can get in Eastern Iowa. They've been serving award-winning barbecue in Eastern Iowa since 2018 at 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. 114 East Green Street in Walker, Iowa. And Interstate Swine, helping to raise fresh and safe pork for your family and your community since 1998. With the entire Interstate Swine team helping to serve you and your community to help raise fresh pork. With the entire Interstate Swine team of Dave Carcass, Ben Seiler, Todd Wiley, and Rob Turner. We're back here on Inside the Huddle. Big game for football on Saturday, taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. Spencer Petras had his best game at quarterback for the Hawkeyes, and Petras looked amazing on Saturday night in Les Lafayette against the Boilermakers of Purdue. But I don't think that will change my views on Brian Ferentz. I'm not going to say them, but they don't change my views on Brian Ferentz for the moment. It's just one game. But Iowa, you look at their season, and people saying how bad it is, and fire Brian Ferentz, and all this stuff, it's bad. But Iowa still has a chance to make the Big Ten title game. But does Iowa want to? Do they want to face Michigan, Ohio State? And because Iowa already lost to Michigan this year, 24-17. No, it was 24-14. Yeah, 24-14. No, it was 24-10. It was 24-10. It was 24-10 the final score there. But then Ohio State beat you 54. Iowa right out played Michigan, to be honest. If you're an Iowa fan and you want to go to a Big Ten title game, you want to play Michigan. Because Ohio State is too high-powered offense for Iowa's defense. No, it's not too high-powered offense for Iowa's defense. It's if can Iowa score. Can Iowa score at will? That's going to be the factor in this game. That's going to be the really big factor in this game for them. Iowa outscored Evansville 25-7 after the first, 29-13 after the second, 35-26 in the third, and 26-16 in the fourth to make it 115-62. And it's going to be a big game tonight. Iowa, North Carolina, A&T. I'll be on the air with Michael Merrick tonight from Carver Hawkeye Arena. And a big game there. And it's Iowa taking on North Carolina A&T, KRUY.com, and 89.7 FM. It's going to be a big key for the Hawkeyes tonight. Can they run the floor? Can they run the floor? Can they spread it out? Can they play fast? Because, again, this is another team that likes to slow it down. They like to slow it down. They like to play tempo. They like to use shot clock. They like to waste your possessions and do that stuff. That's going to be the big key for the Aggies going forward in this game. Can they get going offensively and do it to the best of their ability and that stuff? But you also have Iowa taking on Drake in a couple days. As Iowa, that won't be a cakewalk. I said that before in a previous segment about the Drake Bulldogs. The big key for the Hawkeyes there is can they go out and play a complete game. Because against a team like Iowa, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen with Iowa in that game. And it's going to be very interesting to see who is going to start for Iowa. I don't think Molly Davis and Hannah Stalky will start yet, but I think they're on their way to starting. But back to Iowa men's basketball, Aaron Nimmers. Aaron Nimmers was the Illinois Player of the Year, Mayor Athlete of the Year finalist as a senior. Averaged 20.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2 steals, shot 62% from the field, 44% from 3. Holds a score record for most points scored in a game, a season, most dunks in a season, most double-double as a guard, second leading scorer in school history for Rock Island High School in Rock Island, Illinois. And it's going to be a big key there for the Hawks. As it was going to be a big key. Also, you have Carter Kingsbury, the 6'4 freshman from Punica, Nebraska, Brewster Academy. We have a couple guys from Brewster, Dante Aldridge and Carter Kingsbury playing on the same team in Brewster together, and that is going to be a sight to see there. But you have also Philip Baracha that's played amazingly as of late. But then you get the North Carolina A&T roster. Now they have a couple of big players. Marcus Watson, the 6'6", 235-pound redshirt junior from Buford, Georgia. And they have a bunch of people from Georgia, North Carolina. And you have Ahmad Hamilton, the 6'2", 170-pound redshirt sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. And I think that's going to be a big factor in this game. Can they play a solid game under head coach Philip Schubert? And he is the rest of the coaching staff, assistant coach Sam Hunt, assistant coach Bruce Martin, assistant athletic trainer Teresa Leonard, director of player development Andrew Hersenreiter, graduate assistant video coordinator Michael Armstrong, graduate assistant and assistant director of basketball operation Jay Finch. Big key for North Carolina A&T. Can he run the floor and then can he slow it down? The guy from Pensacola, Florida is Love Bettis, the 6', 170-pound sophomore from Pensacola, Florida, J.M. High School. And that is a very good high school to be at if you're a Florida basketball person. Because that school knows how to play basketball. They know how to do it day in and day out. This is going to be a game where if I was not watching it, they can come in here and surprise people. I think Iowa will win, but it's going to be the factor. Can Iowa have a start where can they bury him early? Can they bury him early and leave no doubt in everyone's minds? And also, Tamarick Horton, the 6'5", 200-pound senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, Garner High School. And also, a guy that I'm looking forward to see is Cam Woods, the 6'2", 185-pound sophomore from Bessemer, Alabama, Pinson Valley High School. And also, the guy from Dallas, Texas, Duncan Powell, the 6'8", 225-pound redshirt freshman from Dallas, Texas, DeSoto High School. DeSoto is a big football school and a basketball school, so Duncan Powell is going to be a factor tonight. I won't be surprised if you see Duncan Powell starting the game tonight for the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, and I won't be surprised if it's going to be a big factor here. Can they go out and play a game to your ability? That's going to be a big factor. And it's going to be another big factor for Iowa is can they go out and play their game to the best of their ability? But here is the interview with head coach Matt Ray.
Maybe go on Go Hawks. Matt Ray, how you doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. It's been a good season for you, Lily Show Go Hawks, and it's been very good on the ground for you this season. But the senior tandem of McCray Haggerty and Asai Newsom.
Yeah, that's been great to say that conservatively
McCray Haggerty has the school record for yards in a season last year, yards in a regular season. He got that this year, and also has the career rushing record of 3,255 yards and counting. He broke Bryce Miller's record of 1,985 yards, so he's absolutely shattering records. Ethan Newsome, they've moved him more to a wide receiver halfway through the season, but he still gets a lot of carries on those jet sweeps and trying to be more multiple because they know they run the wing team, they have Asa at tailback. They'd win every game in the regular season like they did, but their goal is the state championship, and in order to win that, they need a big target for Cole Marsh to throw to, and Asa has become that for them.
Yeah, and the big thing with this first-round opponent in the Fort Madison Bloodhounds, you got to get Cole Marsh availability here, because I don't believe you win this game by forcing the ball to McCray Haggerty, forcing them 30 to 40 times this game. I think Cole Marsh has to win you this game.
Well, I don't know about that statement, but I know that Fort Madison wants to throw the football, and I think obviously you got to look defensively first. Can you get pressure on their quarterback, on the Boyer kid, enough to make them, score under 20 points in the football game? And I think if you can do that, then you can run the football and win the ball game. That being said, though, Cole Marsh is going to have to make some plays. I don't think it's going to be an offense attack where it's all Cole all the time, but he's going to have to throw the ball 13 to 15 times and, complete, half to two-thirds of those and make some plays when you do get those third down and longs. But I certainly believe that Waverly Shaw can beat Fort Madison with a run-first and run-majority attack because Waverly Shaw is just so big and strong, and Fort Madison's a darn good football team, but this is their first trip to the playoffs since 1989, and so when you're the new kid on the block, sometimes the moment gets big on you. So I expect Waverly Shellrock to kind of stick with their bread and butter, but as you said, Cole Marsh is going to have to make some big plays, and he's fully capable of doing that.
Okay, and last question. What is your one big key for a Go Hawks victory on Friday night to move on to the quarterfinals?
Well, this is going to sound cliche, and it's what every football coach would tell you. It's win the line of scrimmage. If they can win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, they'll win the football game. Obviously, offensively, if they're winning the line of scrimmage, you cut, stack, Seam, Serrata, and Miller up front are pushing. They can run the ball like I think they should be able to. And on the other side of the football, if they don't get pressure with their front four without having to send blitzers, they're going to be in trouble because Fort Madison can throw the football. So I think, obviously, again, it's cliche, but if you can win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, you'll win the game going away.
Thank you very much, and good luck on Friday.
Welcome back into the show, and another rematch now in the Class 4A championship game between Lewis Central and Cedar Rapids Xavier for the second year in a row. And Lewis Central won that game last year against the Saints of Xavier, but Waverly Shark fell in the quarterfinals this year. That was Matt Ray's interview on the quarter round of 16 opponent of Fort Madison. And was a big factor here in this game for Xavier. Can they throw the ball? Can they run? But against Lewis Central, they're big, they're strong, they know what to do. Offensively, defensively, it's going to be a very good factor here what they can do offensively for Cedar Rapids Xavier. And it's going to be a very big factor about this Iowa game as we go back to dive in to the Iowa women's game last night for a final time this morning. And it's going to be a big factor in this game last night was the big play of Hannah Stolke. I'm going to keep saying it. The big play to bench. The bench played amazing last night, scoring 48 out of the 115 points. And you do, I didn't do divide. I want to do 115. 47. The bench outscored the starters. That is impressive for an Iowa team. 48 points for the bench, 47 for the starters. If you get that balanced scoring between your bench and your starters, you can be a championship team. You look at all the good teams from Gino Auriemma when he won that national championship with Breonna Stewart, Maya Moore, Katie Lou Samuelson, all that. They had a good supporting cast around her. Just like Aaliyah Boston in South Carolina. They have a good supporting cast around her to go around. And they also have one of the best coaches in Division One, regardless of men's or women's, in Dawn Staley in Columbia, South Carolina, home of the Gamecocks. But if you can be a team that can do that on a consistent basis, 48 from your bench, 47 from your starters, very balanced scoring, and you can take the load off of Clark and Sonano. I'm not saying take the whole entire load off of them. We need them to play good. What I'm saying is, if you can take some of the load off of them so they don't have to carry the team. Last night, that was a complete team victory. Offense, defense, fast break. We won that game, all phases of the game. And I was very impressed with the Iowa bench last night. It was one of the best benches performances I've seen in a basketball game, period. I'm not being biased because I'm a Hawkeye fan. I'm not being biased as an Iowa student. And I'm not being biased as an Iowa fan in general. That was one of the best Hawkeye bench performances I've seen ever. And one of them, name the last time a team scored 48 points off of the bench as a team. That is pretty impressive. And I'm telling you this, if Iowa can keep going on this path and really get going offensively, I think they can win this game. I think they can win at Drake and all that stuff. And they can be a national title contender. They could be a national title contender with a win here. But a national title contender if they get their bench production that they are doing right now. And it's going to be very big today. As Hannah Stolke, 14 last night, off of the bench again. And a big factor was that our defense. But then the big factors here tonight, and we just want to let you know for one final time this morning that me and Michael Merrick will be live from Carver Hawkeye Arena on 89.7 FM KUI.com. Live from Carver Hawkeye Arena. It's Hawkeyes and it's Aggies. It's Iowa and North Carolina A&T. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, pregame show at 6:50. Tip-off at 7 o'clock. And it's going to be a good one. Me and Michael Merrick will be on the call tonight from Carver Hawkeye Arena. It's going to be a very good game tonight. It's going to be a very good game then. And also the World Cup for the United States is also here too. And we will talk about that right now as the United States in the World Cup. They haven't been out of the quarterfinal, the round of 16 since 1996. United States, I get the Zach Steffen move that Alexia Lawless, the Fox Sports guy, the soccer guy is talking about. Why you leave him off, that stuff. But USA Soccer I don't get the Shaq Moore and Haji Wright though. Haji Wright and Shaq Moore, I haven't seen him played. But Tim Ream, I love. Gio Reyna, if you're talking about USA Soccer, and I think you cannot allow, I think Gio Reyna can come off from the bench. He has to stay healthy for the United States. United States World Cup hope is going to depend on if Gio Reyna can be healthy. Because Gio Reyna, the offense will run from McKinney, Reyna, De La Torre, all that stuff. And he has a 26-man roster for the World Cup here coming up. The goalkeepers are Ethan Horvath, Sean Johnson, and Matt Turner. The defenders are a big tandem of Cameron Carter-Vickers, Serginho Dest, Aaron Long, Jack Moore, Tim Ream, Anthony Robertson, Joe Scally, DeAndre Yedlin, and Walker Zimmerman. I think Serginho Dest is the most versatile player on this USA soccer team. And he's only 22. And Serginho Dest can play left back, he can play right back, he can play the 9, he can play the 10. No, he can play the 9 in the wing back, he can play 10 in the wing back position. But it's going to be force to be reckoned with there. Then it's going to be in the midfield. Brandon Harrison, Kylan Acosta, Tyler Adams, Weston McKinnon, UC Musa, Christian Ordon, and Luca De La Torre as the midfield. In forwards, Jesus Ferreira, Jordan Morris, Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, Josh Sargent, Tim Weah, and Haji Wright for the United States of America. Now I will do it for this edition of Inside the Huddle. We will say goodnight, and we will see you tonight from Carver Hawkeye Arena at 6:50 against North Carolina A&T with the tip-off at 7 o'clock.